When you're young, you always want to see how damn fast you can go, regardless of what you're driving.
In the 1940s, Farrington opened his own mechanic shop in New Orleans, Knott's Auto Service. He raced midget cars and stock cars.
You do anything you could, you picked up, you did, you tried this, you tried that, different things and all, It was just in me, I guess, to I always liked speed.
It's fair to say that Knott Farrington has slowed down just a bit, but there was once a time that he was driving his gasoline-powered car faster than any man on earth. His first land speed record came in 1959 at the Bonneville Salt Flats in Utah. His speed, 173 miles per hour.
Once you go into high gear, that's when you give it everything you got. You're pushing the accelerator through the floorboard then.
This is the record-setting car. Farrington donated it to the Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame. The car broke the 200-mile-an-hour barrier in 1960 and continued setting records through 1963, when Farrington topped out at nearly 242 miles an hour. He says it was the streamlined design and moving the engine back 2 feet that allowed him to push the limits of speed.
I'll tell you what, it goes by so damn quick, you don't have time to do too much thinking,
He called himself the Crown Prince of Zydeco. Rockin' Doopsie, the accordion player and band leader from Carencro, Louisiana, was one of the early masters who brought Zydeco to the world. Since his death in 1993, Doopsie's sons have become the royal family of Zydeco.
They got Tiger Doopsie, Dwayne Doopsie. My dad gave me the name Rockin' Doopsie Jr. and Anthony Doopsie.
Their real family name is Reuben, but Dad became Doopsie when he first started playing music.
My daddy said he got the name from a guy that danced jitterbug from Chicago. He used to be a jitterbugger, and his name was Doopsie. And when he died, my daddy took the name as a young kid and started playing the accordion, and he called himself Doopsie, Lil Doopsie.
This is how we Zydeco.
Zydeco is a hard-driving mix of South Louisiana rhythm and blues that features the accordion and washboard. First, it was called la-la music. The name Zydeco comes from the farm.
Zydeco is a snap bean, a green bean, and then that's what they named the music after Zydeco.
Tiger played drums in his dad's band, Rockin' Jr. the washboard, and Anthony took over the accordion after his dad's death.
He was a different kind of accordion player. You got some guys that play single notes, one note at a time, man, and he could play like 3-4 notes at one time, and they made the most beautiful harmony.
The paratroopers missed their target by 15 miles. It was the worst misdrop of D-Day. The Rijot family farm became a gathering place for soldiers who waited out of the swamp that night. The girls and their father used a boat to gather the troopers' parachutes, equipment packs, and ammunition.
They went to find all the equipment in the swamps to hide them in the barn.
It was a huge risk. If the Germans caught them, they would be shot.
We show you the number.
Martha still has part of a parachute she saved from D-Day. 5 days would pass before German troops arrived. The townspeople had gathered here in the Catholic Church for Sunday Mass, and they were joined by some of the American paratroopers. That's when they got word that the Germans were beginning their attack.
A lady came in the church and screamed that Germans were coming.
The battle raged all day. Odette recalls peeking through a keyhole in the church door.
She was looking inside and she could see an American soldier fighting the Americans further. And she saw him falling dead. I mean, this shocked her a lot.
Sergeant Broussard was just steps away from the church when he was killed by an artillery shell. During a lull in the fighting, the villagers were sent to their homes. The paratroopers were running out of ammunition and withdrew from the village. The Germans moved in and massacred 17 wounded and captured American soldiers who stayed behind. Some of the villagers were also executed.
Venger sur les deux prêtres.
And then they killed the 2 priests, the French priest who stayed in.
Ils les ont fusillés et ils ont mis du...
And they burned them.
The village of Grania was destroyed. 2 months later, Sergeant Broussard's mother, who lived near Crowley, Louisiana, got this telegram.
I don't know if she ever got over it.
Deanna Richard Spell is Broussard's niece. She remembers that his mother constantly spoke of her lost son.
She dedicated her life to the Blessed Virgin Mary, and she wore blue and white for the rest of her life.
Broussard's remains were returned to Crowley, where he is buried next to his parents.